In this lesson, you're going to learn about statistical measures and most specifically measures of center. And some of this you've already learned, so it will be review. Let's review the first one, which is mean. The mean is the sum of the data points divided by the total number of data points you have. The second one is median, and remember the median is the middle number. So in order to find the median, we have to put the numbers in ascending order and then find the middle number. And remember that ascending order means least to greatest, so it goes up. So you put the numbers from least to greatest and then you find the middle number. If you have an odd number, that will give you the middle number. If you have an even number of data sets, then you have to put the numbers in ascending order and find the mean of the middle two numbers. So again, if you have an odd number of data points, you won't have one number in the middle, you'll have two numbers in the middle, so you have to add them together and divide by 2. Alright, let's take a look at this example about Yellowstone National Park. It says that Data Girl and Miss Adventure watch Jewel Geyser erupt, and Data Girl records the time intervals between the eruptions. And we have a dot plot to show the information, and we want to know the mean of those numbers. We also want to know the median, and then once we have that, we will make an inference. So to find the mean, you have to add up all the data points and then divide by the total number of data points you have. So we need to add up all of these values. So the first value right here is 5.5. So we're going to add 5.5 plus 6 plus, and then here we have 2 7s, so 7 times 2, plus 8, plus 8.5, and then here we have 2 10s, so plus 10 times 2. So we add up all of those. When we do that addition, we get 62. So to find the mean, we're going to do 62 divided by the total number of values, and there were 8 values, so 62 divided by 8. And that gives us 7.75, and we're talking about minutes. So the mean is 7.75 minutes. To find the median, we have to find the middle number. So since there are 8 numbers, we cross off the least and greatest, least and greatest, least and greatest, and then we have 2 numbers in the middle. So since we have 2 numbers in the middle, we have to find the average or mean of those 2 numbers. Those numbers are 7 and 8. So we add 7 and 8 and then divide by 2. So that's 15 divided by 2. So that's 7.5. So the median time is 7.5 minutes. So now it's time to make an inference, and an inference is a statement about the data. And we are going to say that Jewel Geyser erupts approximately every 7.5 minutes. And that is my inference. Jewel Geyser erupts approximately every 7.5, or I could put 7.75 minutes. Alright, let's move on to the next problem. So we're looking right here. During eruptions at Jewel Geyser, water soars up to various heights. What's the mean height of the geyser's eruptions? So we have to add up all of the values and then divide by the total number of values I have. So the work I have is to add up 15 plus 30 plus 27 plus 23 plus 28 plus 19 plus 14 plus 11 plus 22 add up all of those, and then I'm going to divide that by the total number of values, there are 9 values. So when I do the math there, I add them up, I get 179. Divide that by 9, and you get 19.8 repeating. So the mean is 19.8 repeating, and we're talking about feet. So another word for mean is average. So the average height that the geyser erupts is about 19.8 repeating feet. Alright, let's move on to the next part. Measures of variability are range and interquartile range. So to find the range, we take the maximum value minus the minimum value. That is something that you should have learned in the past. And interquartile range is the third quartile minus the first quartile. So you should have learned this in 6th grade, but maybe you have forgotten or maybe you didn't learn it. So we're going to review how to find the quartiles. The first step to find the quartiles is to put the data in ascending order, and you'll see a theme there. We always want to put the data in ascending order, which means from least to greatest. Turn the page there. After you put the data in ascending order, you're going to find the median. If there's an even number of data points, that's when you have to find the average of the middle two. The median is not going to be part of your data set. So this is important. Maybe you should underline that. It's not going to be part of your data set. If there's an odd number of data points, the median will be part of your data set. Alright, so once you find the median, then that splits your values, your data, into 2 equal parts. The third step is to find the median of the lower half of your data, and this is called the first quartile, or Q1. And then you have this upper half of your data, so you find the middle number of the upper half, and that is called the third quartile, or Q3. And then here we have an example of a box plot with the 5 important points, 5 significant points that make up your box plot. So we have the minimum value, the first quartile, which is Q1, the median, which is Q2, the third quartile, which is Q3, and the maximum value. So that's what a box plot looks like, and you've studied that in the past. Let's take a look at the next part. We have a box plot for Miss Adventure and Data Girl, and we're visiting different hot springs in Yellowstone, and they make a box plot of the temperatures that she recorded. So we're supposed to find the range and the interquartile range of the temperatures using the the box plot, and then describe the variability of the temperatures in the hot spring pools at Yellowstone. So let's take a look here. The range is the max, which we'll say is about 201, and the min right here, and that's about 145. So the range is 201 minus 145, so that's 56 degrees Fahrenheit. So the range, the temperatures range 56 degrees Fahrenheit. The interquartile range is Q3, which is this value here. We're going to say that's about 189, minus Q1, which is right here. We'll say that's about 155. So the IQR is 189 minus 155, and that gives us a 33 degree interquartile range. So now it's time to describe the variability. So I'm going to say that the temperatures in hot spring pools at Yellowstone vary by about 56 degrees Fahrenheit, and the interquartile range is about 33 degrees Fahrenheit, which means the middle 50%, the middle half of the data varies by about 33 degrees Fahrenheit. So again, the temperatures in hot springs at Yellowstone vary by about 56 degrees, and the IQR is about 33 degrees, which means the middle half of the data varies by about 33 degrees. Alright, the next question, what's the IQR of the depths of a sample of hot spring pools in Yellowstone National Park? So here we have our data set at the bottom, depths of hot springs in feet. So in order to find the IQR, we first need to put the numbers in ascending order. So the smallest is 6. The next is 23.5. Then we have two 25s. And then a 27. And then a 32.5. So to find the IQR, we need to find the median. The median is the middle number, which is right in between these two. So the median in this set of data is not part of the data. It's 25, but it's neither this 25 on the left nor the 25 on the right. So now that splits the information up into two equal parts. So we find the lower half's middle number, which is 23.5, that's Q1, and the upper half's middle number is 27, that's Q3. So we're going to do 27, which is Q3, minus 23.5, which is Q1. So Q3 minus Q1, third quartile minus first quartile, gives us 3.5. So the interquartile range is 3.5 feet. All right, let's move on to the next page. It says that Miss Adventure and Data Girl are thinking about the next trip. And they sample the flight prices of two airlines at random. We're supposed to find the median and range for each airline, and then based on those values, make an inference about which airline they will most likely choose and justify your reasoning. So the Beta Air's median, so we're going to put these numbers here in order from least to greatest, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to number them 1 through 5. So 1 being the smallest, so I have $3.99, then $400, then $402, then $413, and then $722. So the median is the middle number, which is the third number, so that's $402. The range is the largest minus the smallest, so that's $722 minus $3.99. And that gives me $323. I'm going to do the same thing for Park Air, so I'm going to number them 1 to 5, 1 being the smallest. So I have 1, 2 is 409, then 428, then 447, and 465. So I numbered them from least to greatest. Take the middle number for the median, which is the third number, 428. That's my median. And the range is the largest minus the smallest, so that's 465 minus 398. And that's $67. So based on their information that they gathered, which airline would they choose and why? So if you look at the medians are pretty close together. So not a huge difference there, about $26, not a big deal. But if you look at their ranges, that's a huge difference. So I would go with Park Air. Even though their median is higher, I can pretty much count on the same amount of money no matter what. Whereas if I went with Beta Air, I wouldn't know if I got that really expensive flight. So I would go with Park Air since the values are closer together. Alright, so I put that they will most likely choose Park Air even though the median's a little higher. All the values are closer together, so they won't get stuck with a really expensive flight. Now it's time for you to work on your own, and what you're going to do is you're going to answer these questions on your paper, the how do you know, do you understand, and then what you're going to do is you're going to go to a Google form and answer those questions online. Make sure you write the answers down on your paper, and then you're going to go to this website, www.bit.ly/AM16-1, and input your answers. Here's the bit.ly that you want to go to. So make sure that you figure out your answers, write them down on your paper, and then go to this bit.ly and fill out the answers. Make sure that it is case sensitive, so lowercase a, lowercase m, and that stands for accelerated math, and then this is topic 16.1.